Training camp has started for some teams. And Shedeur Sanders is in a battle for his life, baby. And this is one of those battles I'm looking forward to out of any position in the NFL. I'm looking forward to the quarterback battle in Cleveland between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, like we all are. Most of us want Shedeur Sanders to win the battle. Some of us want to see Deshaun Watson get back to playing, how he was playing in Texas. That would be a beautiful thing. I don't think too many people could complain about that if Deshaun Watson was able to get back to stardom like he was in Houston. But that's far, 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 far left. That's far left. And I think it's time for some new energy, some new juice, new talent to take over and see what they can do and how much they can deliver for the new team. Because creating that energy in the atmosphere, that bringing in new energy has a lot to do with it. You keeping old guys around, expecting new results, and it doesn't happen. That starts to wear down. And there's more hope for Shedeur Sanders. Todd Monken said he won't be making any decision at quarterback until he sees his players in full pass and live action. So that's basically after the first, second preseason game. The top players don't play in the first preseason game, usually the second preseason game. So I think this is a good sign for Shedeur, which we already understood. He was impressing during mini camp, right? And but the one area, right? The one area I want to see Shedeur improve is him playing with more urgency. He's a little too comfortable playing at one speed and not playing with more urgency like right now. You know what I mean? And of course, let me break down urgency for everybody, right? Urgency, of course, everybody understands he needs to make faster decisions, right? Faster decision making. That's one of the points in the urgency category, right? I want to see Shedeur play faster overall. I want to see him drop back in the pocket faster. I want to see him getting the ball to the running back with a lot more urgency. You know what I mean? I want to see him execute screens, right? Screen plays with much more tempo. That's what I mean with more urgency. Everything has to pick up speed. Overall, just him playing in position. From the time he gets the ball from the quarterback. That's what I mean by urgency. And this is how I can see Shedeur separating himself from Deshaun Watson. Because once Shedeur corrects those categories or those blemishes that's going against him, man, he's going to become a much better quarterback, right? Now, at the very least, hopefully Shedeur can play well enough during the preseason, right? And or during the regular season and boost his value as a player. That's what it's about. Continue to grow and uplift your value, right? As a player. That's the most important thing. But on the other hand, we got issues, man. We got issues with his teammate. And Jerry Jeudy is getting in the way of Shedeur Sanders being great, man. Let's check him out.
All right, I see the marriage. Well, we are.
So if you can see, right, he threw up the 4, right? And in the chat, they was asking, who do you want to be the starter at quarterback in the chat? And as he threw up the number 4, that the question was posted in the chat during the live stream, right? So everyone is assuming that he's talking about Deshaun Watson is his choice for the starting quarterback. What a coincidence? Or not a coincidence? Jerry Jeudy was number 4 for the University of Alabama when he was in college. But understand, man. I don't know how you hide from this one. He's on damage control currently right now, trying to explain that that's not what he meant. You know, from what I see, he definitely wants Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback. But it's all starting to make sense. You know? And the sabotaging that's been going on, from dropping the passes, acting like Shedeur is doing what he's supposed to do. It's crazy, man. And the amount of support, right? That's what we have to understand. Jerry Jeudy is dealing with the amount of support and people that want to see Shedeur succeed. That puts the pressure on people like Jerry Jeudy and the wide receiver position. Some people can't handle pressure like others. Pressure really busts pipes. That's a true statement. I don't understand this perspective of the two quarterbacks. I don't understand Jerry Jeudy's perspective. Why would he want Deshaun Watson over Shedeur Sanders? As if he's had success with Deshaun Watson. He's a much better receiver when Shedeur Sanders is at quarterback. So make it make sense. It's not making any sense. And that's what's blowing me, It's crazy. Check this out. We're going to see the stats. We're going to compare the stats from when Jerry Jeudy had Shedeur Sanders at quarterback and for the short period of time when Deshaun Watson was at quarterback for Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, 50% catch rate, right? 50%. 12.7 yards per reception. 6.3 yards per target. So that's 50%, 12.7 yards per reception, 6.3 yards per target with Deshaun Watson. Jerry Jeudy with Shedeur Sanders, one season. He only had one season. Jerry Jeudy only had one season with both quarterbacks, right? 57% catch rate. It's up 7%. 12.9 per reception. 0.2 better than when he was with Deshaun Watson. 7.5 yards per target. It's a little bit better when he has Shedeur Sanders. So I really don't understand. And I don't know what the beef is all about. And no one seems to understand the plan if Deshaun Watson becomes the starter moving forward, right? I would love to see Deshaun Watson back to like he was in Houston, right? That would be great. But the reality is he just isn't the same anymore. Todd Monken, he can work his magic and revive Deshaun. All things are possible, but like I say, the reality is he just isn't the same no more. And that's the way it is.